Hello, 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 and welcome. Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. I heard something funny. Something funny. Yeah, I heard something funny. Hi, Tanya. Um, how our government said that inflation is right in line and that inflation has gone down. I don't know if they go shopping. That's the whole I don't know if they've been shopping lately and, gone to a shopping mart, and, picked up some groceries lately because a flat of eggs yesterday. Good morning, Charlene and Tanya. A flat of eggs yesterday, which is 30 eggs, went for, I think it was like $13 Steve paid for. And it just, I would say 2 months ago, they were $9. I mean, same eggs, they're not organic, they're not brown, you know, they're not omega plus or whatever it is, but a flat of eggs. I was just like, okay. But they're saying that, we're just right in line and inflation is going down. And you're just like, hmm. So much and so many are just not connected with reality, shall we say. So there's such a disconnect with that of reality. It's just I was just watching what happened in London today, and a prompt to protest just popped up, and it's the idea that if we do this, they can make everything better, right? And as I said before, I said protests are great. I mean, yeah, but there's other ways of doing it if you're wanting to make a change. And if we sit back and take a look at how other groups are trying to make a change and infiltrate our society, is that they're getting involved in the grassroots. They're getting involved in your organizations within your community. They are participating in different government functions. They're sitting on boards on in community centers. Like, your local area has, at least here we have our local different areas in Calgary. We have our community centers, like, and then there's a board of trustees that you can go and you can sit on it and stuff. And it helps with doing different things within that community, and they have community drives, like, for I'm trying to think now. If you're wanting to get rid of things, if you're wanting to get rid of garbage and stuff like that, they do local drives like that. They sometimes have some of them have little pubs in them so that you can go and have a drink and everything else like that. So anyways, they're little local communities, and I've noticed, and the thing is, it's like, great, rally, do all of that, but then, we come back to, say, someone who's lived in Canada for a long time, and they're like, "Oh, that's just so hard. That's just too much." But, it's like the armchair person who wants to get upset over, the armchair warrior who wants to rally and from the armchair, and we're wondering why all of this is happening. And I feel too, it's just like people are not really voicing, and the whole thing about being afraid of hurting somebody's feelings. You know, it's getting to a place where we can't it's not gonna it can't be tolerated anymore, and I can see that as Mars is with Chiron. I mean, if you get through today with a smile on your face, it's awesome, because today is sort of a, we there's some today's a day that can bring in a lot of conflict, especially with Mars, because Mars is in his home sign. Chiron is there, and Chiron's sort of that wounded healer, that woundedness, and we want to you go at the wound with, like, just cut at that wound, and you got a scab, you just like keep picking it. Disgusting. But that's where the energy is. It's like it's that woundedness, and we just want to, keep on picking at it, instead of allowing it to get healed and saying, okay, what can we do to make this better? How can we make this better? How can we devise and create a better harmonious way? And it is with your grassroots. It is getting involved in your community center. It is where you might have to do a volunteer for a week, or once a week or once a month or whatever it is. But that's where it is, because you're noticing, if you notice, and it's where, with all of it's like when Black Lives Matters happened, it was all Marxism. You looked at their referendum, and everything that they were, wanting to promote was basically Marxism. And now we have, we're going into a flip side where, and I mentioned it's like the Nazism, two words I'm not supposed to mention on here. Sorry, zip it. I'm supposed to say the man with the funny mustache who did the goose step, and trying to really promote an agenda there, and force people to say, you do it my way, or we're going to make your life hell. And this is where it's like, huh, okay, how did we get to this point? And here we got Mars coming in, and really that feistiness, and that, we want to create a disharmony, and I'm going to create the disharmony if you do it my way. And Jupiter and Gemini can expand that very easily and get you very scattered all over the place, because the Gemini energy wants to say, okay, hold on, what do we need to focus on? What do we what is it that we need to do? What is the platform that you want to present? And how are we going to communicate this out? And can we start to create something here? And in it just feels like there's just so much, craziness that's getting really stirred up more and more and more. And we have to come into where, on the horizon right now, there's a brightness on the horizon. We just may not see it, but it's, how do we move forward? How do we move towards it? How do we move towards this brightness, this craziness, when there's so much being thrown at you at this time? I mean, they're preparing people for war. They're talking about it on mainstream media now. Like, as soon as they get shit on mainstream media and get it on, and with the legacy medias start talking about it, that they are prepping you for something. So there's a prepping that's happening right now. And that's causing the angst. It's causing the anxiety. It's causing, where people are feeling uneasy, and then being told that, don't worry, everything's fine. And we got, what? The country's running really well. Yet Steve and I spoke to a couple people who were seniors, a little older than I am, and a wee bit older than Steve. And these are people who have worked their entire life to really create, nice retirement and everything else. And she was saying that they're going through their retirement fund faster than they thought. And she goes, and that's not, she goes, it's not on, you know, craziness. She goes, it's just on daily necessities. She goes, if it isn't for food and being, having to eat a certain, eat properly, and just, she goes, they're home. She goes, it's the taxes, it's the heating bill, it's all of that, coming together. And then she goes, even with the insurance, and she goes, it all piles up. And she goes, it's just where they thought they had enough to last them for the next however long, you know, um, that they're going to be here. And she said, but they're going through it faster, and they're actually considering leaving Canada. She goes, we're actually considering right now, they're looking at, and thank God, I mean, they're able to do this, which is wonderful. But she said, even on minimum, where they can live, she says they're looking at alternate places to go move. And she goes, they're considering even moving over to Europe, into Spain. They're looking at Mexico, and they're even looking at Thailand, which is funny enough, because a lot of people, like in the UK, have um, got their elderly parents into retirement homes in Thailand. Thailand has a huge industry right now working with seniors and setting up senior retirement homes. And they are cheap. Like, for what you could, like, for their room and their board, and they're beautifully done, and set up with doctors, with a medical team, really nutritious foods and everything, and programs and stuff like that, for less than 2,000 Canadian a month. You can't do that, and they're even she said that's the other place that they're considering, is Thailand. And she said there's been a lot of people, like a lot of their American friends are moving to Thailand. And she said there's actually they've had a huge influx of Russians have moved to Thailand as well. And that's because she goes, it's modern, it's clean, um, and she goes, there's a lot of advantages for them to go there. And she said, and um, live a good life. Now, before then, I knew a lot of people a lot of retirees were moving to different parts of India because it's cheaper, a cheaper way of living. And and the whole setup and stuff like that. Except India didn't have the proper infrastructure in a lot of places that what Thailand does. Thailand has the infrastructure. Um, you know, they have a normal toilet, not a hole in the ground where you just squat and poop, kind of thing. So, she goes, that's the kind of thing, because they want to live nicely, and they want to make sure that they have um medical, and if anything, and if they need anything, because she goes, they're, I think, in their mid 70s. So, but she goes, this is us packing up and moving everything, like, selling everything that we have here. She goes, yeah, our children and everything are here, but we can't live here. Like, we can't. She goes, within less than 10 years, uh, what they think, the way the taxes are going, and the way everything, within inflation, that they could probably run out of money within 10 years. And she goes, that's not living extravagantly. And she goes, that's scary, you know? And that's the thing, is like, there's just, with the energies that are coming in, it's showing such beautifulness, like such vibrance that's coming in. And I can see the beautiful, like, I keep seeing these beautiful um tinges of the pinks and the gold and the white, and this beautiful energy that's coming in. But it's almost where there's all of this gunk and muck and sludge that we're working through, right? And I've been talking about this for the last week or so. But I feel where Mars is right now, it's going to be feeling that craziness. Now, I did that reading on Sunday for the week, and I'm trying to think of what I pulled out for Wednesday. I don't know. It might have been the world, or the world was at the end. I know the first one was the Wheel of Fortune. So things are changing. It's changing, and with that change, we have to create something new. We have to create and start really thinking in new ways and new innovative ways of bringing forth our abundance, bringing forth our health, bringing forth, the things that are going to help us to have stability, right? I saw a funny TikTok where this Marge was her name, and she was going to the US and she was giving up her Canadian citizenship and going to the US, giving up her Canadian citizenship to come back to Canada to be an immigrant so that she could get a hotel room, meals, all her meals paid for, and get paid to stay in Canada. And she said that she'd still be able to even get her pension or even get a better pension. I thought it was a funny little video. But I think that's where part of the frustration is. People want they want to be happy. They want to do well. They want others to do well. They want the corner store to do well, because they know the corner grocer. They know that person. They can run in there and go grab a jug of milk or what have you. It's convenient, right? We want these places to thrive because then we thrive. But it's a this pressure that's coming down that doesn't want us to do it, doesn't want us to thrive, doesn't want us to create. Yet I feel like it's the more of the push that's coming in, the more of the pushback that's coming back. Watching what happened in London today, it took the cops 3 hours to get that crowd out and under control. And they were horrible. They were just horrific, like, they were horrible. It's like in Toronto right now, off the University of Toronto, all the protesters that are camped out, like, very well organized little campsite there, and, you know, just trying to get them off of campus. And I feel like it's like, you know what? I Love is not patting somebody on the head and telling them it's okay. Love is taking the strength of saying, no, enough is enough. There's an accountability for this. We have to have an accountability. And that's part of, especially with Mercury coming up to Uranus, is like letting, Uranus know we have to have accountability in this world. In Taurus, that's this world, what do we value? What do we care about? And we have to have that accountability. It's like it's where we're just allowing for bad behavior. It's like I watched partially the interview of the Pope on 60 Minutes. And I'm just like, like what the fuck? Like I'm just like, is the Pope really Catholic? But eh, um, I who is it? The Leo King. I think he pulled up the Pope's chart, and just by looking, he goes, he's just there. He's just a placement. Like he's not. He's just kind of like a figurehead just to be there right now. So he's just a placement, not to really do anything particular at this time. Not sure if I don't think, hate to predict that, but I mean, he is getting old, but I think for him, yeah, I got next year probably. I don't think he's going to live through the war, and through everything that's going to be coming forward, when it comes politically and things like that. God, the church, they do some fucked up things. Maybe if they had a woman pope, maybe would that make any difference? No, I don't think it would make much difference. I think that if they had a woman pope, it would have to be someone who is extremely um pious, and somebody, oh, that's what they need, someone who's really pious, someone who's really stepping into that sacredness of the Sacred Heart. Because when you step into that sacredness of the heart, it's like the divine comes in and says, yeah, I want to help you, and here you go. But what are you going to do for you? Like how are you going to, here I'm helping you, but I can't do it all for you. You gotta do it. You gotta take accountability for the walk that you're doing. You gotta take accountability for your actions because your actions have, consequences, and having those consequences. And that's the whole thing. It's like we can sit there and dig at that wound and say, "Oh, look at how bad everybody is, and look at how bad. Look at it's making me bleed even more." Well, stop picking the fucking wound and let's heal it. And yeah, it's going to hurt to heal and it's going to be irritating and it's going to be frustrating, but it's taking that accountability, it's taking that strength and saying, okay, fuck it, we got to stand up. And standing up is like yesterday. I don't know what happened to me. Something happened at school with Mateus and I didn't know about it. And I could see why my daughter didn't tell me about it, but anyways, um this she's like fucking 8 or 9. I don't, anyways. And how she identifies herself and stuff like that, and then she thinks that she's all like, "Ooh, like she's a tomboy." I gotta say she's a tomboy, a little tomboy, a little tough thing. Um, but that's the whole thing is like because I would have called it out, and so because I'm not very politically correct. I mean, I could be kind and compassionate and loving to people and understanding. But, come on, when you're 8 and 9, it's like, "Okay, you know what? Fine. You wanna be a tomboy, you can be a tomboy right now, you can climb trees, you can do whatever, that's fine." I think a lot of us, who are part of my community, a lot of you guys were tomboys too. I mean, I was a tomboy in a dress. I wanted to go climb it in a dress and my gumboots, but still look pretty. But that's the thing, it's like it's coming in and having that accountability on everything. And even when it comes to, for paying your rent, paying your bills, all of that, you got to have some accountability and responsibility for that. And it's just not happening. Like my husband is an immigrant, like for Christ's sake, like he's an immigrant. Do you know how much problems we have? I mean, he's a permanent resident. He never we anyways, didn't get the Canadian citizenship. So many anyways, being a protagonist with that, I guess. But for somebody else coming into this country, like he's talking to these like these people coming in, and they're just, oh no, they ask, did you get your, Steve asked some questions, it's like, oh, okay, well, what was your process? Oh, we just came in, we just been in the country for like 4 months, and I have my Canadian citizenship. 4 months? There's usually a waiting period. Did you have to take the exam, the test? And it was no. Okay, usually there's a test that you take for citizenship, right? You gotta know the provinces, you gotta know the lakes, the Great Lakes. You gotta understand, do we have a president or a prime minister? Who is the king? Different questions on there, right? The capitals and stuff like that. It's kinda like grade 5, Canadian history kinda stuff, right? No, no. And it was announced, and this is a fucked up thing, that they can bring over somebody from their country and they can be a Canadian citizen. So if they have family or somebody over, they can start bringing them over as well. And you're just like, "Ah." You're just like, "What the fuck?" I mean, it's like even in the States, let's open the borders and let everybody in, you know? We're not gonna find out who you are, and see, that goes back to accountability. If we go back and for Christians, or I'm gonna just because I was raised Catholic, there was always accountability for what you did. You had to be accountable, whether you go to confession for it or not, but there's an accountability of saying, "Okay, you did wrong. Well, there's a penance for what you did." Right? You have to go and do something to counteract what you did upon somebody else. And here we don't have that, and I think that's also part of the fear. It's part of, where we wanna see the brightness, we wanna see the light, we wanna feel it, but we're also very frustrated over it as well. And it's in that frustration that something will emerge. It will emerge. This summer, as we're heading here's the okay, one more thing, one more thing. We're on permanent water restrictions because of a drought. Now our river, it's low, it's kinda weird that it's low. Anyways, I have my suspicions on why it's low, but the snow caps are still white as white can be. They've been skiing up till the end of April, like, they still had snow up there on around Lake Louise and Sunshine. Um, the snow shed is full, yet we're going to have a drought. And the amount of rain that we had, like, we've had crazy amounts of rain, but we're gonna have a drought. So, there's just again, what, what is the agenda? What is, besides strangling us so that we can't do anything anymore? Um, but that's the point, is like it gets to a point where you push people too far. It's where there's a reason why the French got the guillotine. I just read that they are scared of flooding now in Alberta. There could be, yeah, because if everything starts to melt, I can see that. But that's, it's like, yeah, they're afraid of flooding, but then they just put out an announcement that we are be ready for permanent restrictions on water. So, but we'll still have our fountains flowing, and the city hall is going to look really pretty. So, and same with the downtown core. But yeah, I know there's, this coming into June, things I got a whole ramping up and stuff is going to be happening there as well. And people are going to start there's going to be the clashing of everything. I think um even, like we're going to start seeing it big in the States, the big clashes happening in the States. Um and things starting to happen there as well. But we want to think positive. Bring in the Sacred Heart, bring in the love, bring in that sunshiny energy. We are starting the astrology club. The astrology club starts on Monday. So if you want to join me for June's astrology club, it's 4 Mondays in a row. And we are going to be meeting at 7 p.m. It's going to be online and live, and you're going to have the recordings, and you can look at the recordings at any time. We also will have there's handouts that you will receive for that. We'll be talking about the planets, the planetary energies. We're going to get into a little bit of how the planets were seen in past, how we can sort of how we can spot them in the sky, and start looking up into the sky. So working with the astrology, so the astrology club is starting on Monday. So if you wish to join me, it's $75. And Reiki level 2 and masters will be in July. So I do have other dates for it, but the first one for Reiki level 2 and masters will be in July. So if you wish to join, or if you have your Reiki level 1 and you've been wanting to get your level 2 masters, definitely you can join to get your level 2 and masters with that. That would be great. Good morning, Derek. I am doing fine. I hope you're doing well in your neck of the woods. Hope it's not getting too hot and humid back east there for you. Oh, there goes the dog. She's barking. Steve must be home. Yeah, she's fierce. She's fierce. So let's pull some cards. Yeah. We're going to pull some cards here. Here comes the man. The man. I could shuffle. This weekend, I will be in Vermilion at the Elks Hall for a market there. I'll be doing readings. Be there on Saturday from 10 to 4. If you are wanting to come and see me and get a reading, you're in the Vermilion, Vegreville, Manville, Lloyd area, Toefield, any of that area. Viking, all of those little areas if you are wanting. Yes, I'm grateful. Thanks. And yes, it's hot. Summer hot. Woo! You have to go by the seaside. When it gets hot, you got to go by the seaside. So anybody taking any road trips? Well, my road trips to Vermilion and Lloyd this year so far. Those are two of them. We'll see when Mateus gets out of school, and we'll see what happens and how things unfold. Thinking positive thoughts and staying in the positive thoughts. Got a pool, makes the heat worth it. Ooh, yeah, because you're in Arizona too, right, Tanya? Nice. Going to California for my daughter's birthday. Oh, nice. That will be fun. California. I don't know why. I know California is a fucked up state too. But, I've always been drawn to California. Always. It's an expensive state. It's there, but it's so diverse from the Northern California, with the mountain ranges and the red cedar and all the way down, going all the way down to the border to Tijuana, right? It's the diversity of the state. It's absolutely beautiful, right? And I think because it's the Pacific Ocean, and the Pacific Ocean there has a different vibration per se than if you go up to Vancouver. It's beautiful and stuff like that, but the ocean, it just feels different. It just feels different, right? So taking them to the Santa Monica Pier. Oh, that'll be nice. That'll be so nice, right? I wish I was in Miami, Florida, South Beach right now, mama. Oh, I don't know. My husband has family in Florida and stuff. And I have not been to Florida. I've been to California, but I haven't been to Florida. I used to love San Francisco. Don't now. I don't want to go to San Francisco, but I would love to go down to Venice Beach or Santa Monica Pier. Yeah. Go by German in Venice and just go to different places, would be very, very cool. New York. I would love to just visit New York. I don't know if New York is, my thing is that I live in a province that there are no rats. That's the thing. So rats are outlawed in Alberta, right? And when I see different pictures of like in New York and people say there's a rat running down the street. That's just normal. I'm just like, no, that is not fucking normal. I know there's, when we went to BC and Vancouver and stuff, because it's a port, and definitely, yeah, you get them. But yeah, I'm not a rodent person, but I don't know. I don't think California, I don't know. It's just something about the energy, the beaches. Yeah, maybe I could be you know what, Tanya, maybe I will become an immigrant to the United States and give up my Canadian citizenship. There we go. And then maybe Steve and I can go live in California. What do we have here? We have the five of wands. I can't even speak. Oh, I got a client in a few minutes. So we have the 5 of wands, but it's reversed. Why not? I mean, I think I got a few people I could probably go visit. There are rats in Central Park when there's garbage around. I bet. Oh my god. I would love that. I'd come see you so much, especially in the summer. Yeah, you could come stay in our tent or motorhome. Just park up a motorhome. I think they can do that now. Like they have laws that you're not allowed to move the motorhome, but we'd find a nice area to park our motorhome. So and just do that. But everybody would have to come down and see me now. You'd have to come down to California. Oh, I could do that, and I could set up a sign, a sandwich board, and I could do readings outside my motorhome. Go see the crazy lady in the motorhome. So here we have inner thoughts to express. There's my sister is a camper. She will park wherever for me. Nice, nice. So yeah, and just sort of just wild camp. Just do some wild camping. And here we got this is a reluctant to express inner thoughts and feelings and being conflicted with the energies. Hell yeah, I'm making a shed to do a road trip side stuff. Nice. And you and your husband both ride bikes too. So that's really cool. And just there's so many beautiful places that you can go and ride your bikes. I'm talking about motorbikes, not not little electrical bikes. Tanya's on an electrical bike. Um, Derek, I'd love to have lunch with you too. It would have to be in the upper Manhattan area though. And I don't think my RV can make it down there. But we could park on the outside and maybe take a bus in. So we have this reluctance. So this is about independence, finding the sense of peace, finding that peace within ourselves. And with that, we come into places where we can make the choices that we need. The Chariot card is Cancer. It's the Cancer energy. It's the one that comes from the heart and allowing for you to come from the heart. It is one that brings forth a choice, movement, destination. So when we can come to that inner peace, we can come to places where we can make the choices and allow ourselves to move. What are you working towards? What do you want to work towards? Where do you want to move towards? California. And what does that look like and what does that feel like? This is where the energies cannot be, maintained, and you got to use it wisely. You got to use your energy wisely right now. Don't overspend your energy at this time, because you're going to find that it might be
I got a tree plant.
Oh, thank you. You might find it too overwhelming. So pace yourself today, be kind to yourself. Know that there's some really positive energy, and step into the sacredness of the heart and the sacredness of the Blessed Heart, because it'll help and guide you in all that you want to do. And Tanya will bring the wine, and yes, I am there, girl. Bring the wine and I am there. So may the Lord and Lady watch over all of you and bless you. Have a fabulous day. Try not to get too frustrated with the powers that be, the craziness of the world. Just allow it and just send out the blessings, and we'll send out the ho'oponopono, ho'oponopono, ho'oponopono. Blessings to everybody. Have a great one, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.